The human brain is the most complex structure in the known universe. 86 billion neurons, firing in a synchronized electrical storm that generates consciousness. Yet, we are imprisoned by a fundamental bottleneck. While computers can process information at terabits per second, our ability to communicate back is limited to the speed of our thumbs or speech, roughly 40 bits per second. We are, in essence, digitally mute. The quest to break this seal began in 1924, when German psychiatrist Hans Berger recorded the first human electroencephalogram, or EEG. He discovered that the brain's activity wasn't silent, it hummed with alpha waves. But listening from outside the skull is like trying to understand a conversation inside a stadium while standing in the parking lot. To get a clear signal, you must breach the fortress. In the 1970s, Jacques Vidal at UCLA coined the term brain-computer interface. Since then, the gold standard has been the Utah array, a rigid silicone square bristling with 100 needles. The Utah array works, but it is a medieval tool in a digital age. It is stiff, while the brain is soft and gelatinous. Over time, the brain rejects this foreign invader, wrapping it in scar tissue, a process known as gliosis, which eventually muffles the signal. Enter Neuralink. Founded in 2016, the company's objective wasn't just to build a better chip, but to reimagine the material physics of the interface. The result is the N1 implant. Unlike the rigid Utah array, the N1 utilizes 64 flexible threads made of polyamide. These threads are 4 to 6 micrometers thick, roughly 1/20th the width of a human hair. On these delicate filaments sit 1,024 electrodes, capable of monitoring the activity of individual neurons with unprecedented granularity. But flexibility creates a paradox. You cannot push a rope. To insert these threads, Neuralink had to build the surgeon before the device. The R1 robot is a micron precision sewing machine. It uses cameras to map the brain surface, avoiding blood vessels to prevent hemorrhaging. The robot inserts a thread every few seconds, targeting the motor cortex, the area of the brain responsible for planning movement. Once implanted, the N1 sits flush with the skull, invisible under the scalp, inductively charged, and transmitting data via Bluetooth. But what is it actually reading? It's detecting action potentials, voltage spikes, roughly 100 millivolts in amplitude, that occur when a neuron fires. This is the binary code of human intent. The N1 amplifies these microsignals, digitizes them, and streams them to an external computer. The decoding is the real magic. In early trials with Pedro the macaque, the system recorded the neural patterns associated with hand movements. A decoder algorithm learned to predict the intended vector of movement, eventually allowing the monkey to play mind pong purely via thought. In January 2024, the first human trials began with Noland Arbaugh, a quadriplegic patient. The results were immediate. He achieved cursor control capable of playing competitive chess and Civilization VI. However, the trial revealed a critical unforeseen variable: thread retraction. In the weeks following surgery, nearly 85% of the threads pulled back from the brain tissue. The brain moves significantly within the skull during daily activity, pulsating with every heartbeat. This mechanical mismatch caused a loss of data channels. Neuralink's engineers responded not with surgery, but with software. They tweaked the recording algorithm to be more sensitive to weaker signals coming from the retracted electrodes, effectively recovering cursor control. It was a testament to the malleability of the digital side of the interface. It is crucial to understand that Neuralink is not alone. Competitors like Synchron use an endovascular approach, sliding a stent-like sensor up through the jugular vein to sit next to the motor cortex. It requires no open skull surgery, but the signal quality is lower due to the distance from the neurons. This trade-off defines the industry: invasion versus resolution. To get high bandwidth data, enough to eventually restore vision or bridge a severed spinal cord, you must be invasive. You must be inside the tissue. The roadmap extends far beyond cursor control. The Blindsight initiative aims to bypass damaged eyes and optic nerves, stimulating the visual cortex directly. Even for those born blind, the theory suggests that if you provide the cortex with spatial data, the brain can learn to see it. Yet, the implications are terrifying to many. If a device can read your motor intentions, could it eventually read inner monologue or write memories? While current technology is strictly read-only for motor spikes, the security architecture of future bidirectional BCIs will be the most critical firewall in history. Musk's stated goal is symbiosis with artificial intelligence. He argues that as AI advances, humans will become intellectually obsolete house cats unless we add a digital tertiary layer to our cortex, a high-bandwidth bridge to the cloud. We are standing at the precipice of directed evolution. For 3 billion years, biology evolved at the speed of random mutation. BCI represents the moment our biology decides to manually upgrade its own hardware. Whether this leads to a cyberpunk dystopia or a medical utopia remains unwritten. But one thing is certain: the barrier between the mind and the machine has been breached, and it is never closing again.